All right, here we go. All right, so in the landing pages area, you may or may not have anything here. I've built a few landing pages. So let's do one from scratch. So basically, if you do add a new landing page, these are all of the options for you. There's a ton of them, right? They go from, there's a combination of buyer and seller landing pages in here. So we'll start with a simple one, which is the property valuation. So I'm just going to click on that. And then you want to manage or pick a location or a neighborhood, right, that you're going to be working in. So I'm just going to put Dean Estates. Stay out of my business, Lizette.
Hey, my bad.
And one thing that's encouraged to do also is to change the ad up, right? So if you run the same ad consistently in the same neighborhood, people are just going to ignore it. So you may want to change the font, change the color, whatever it is, right? So I'm going to do, this is going to be my week 1 ad for Dean Estates, right?
Okay.
So I'm going to click on add landing page. I'm not just going to create the landing page for me using the template that exists already. So it's going to grab my marketing profile that I created in listings to leads and then add it to the template. Okay. So again, it's just created the template for me. If I don't want to change anything, I can just use it as is. So, oops. Okay, so now it's opening the editor for that landing page I just created. So there's a lot of things you can do in here. So it's going to show you the preview of what your ad is going to look like. I'm sorry, what your landing page is going to look like on the right. And then your editor and your editable fields are on your left. So you can see it's already grabbed an image by default. You can see it's got a laptop and whatnot in the background. Well, let me start at the top actually. So you can do the standard version, which is this big image in the front with enter your property address, or you can go custom, which basically just shrinks that down and just makes it into a square on the right instead of a rectangle across the middle. So depending on how you want it to look. You can look at the first page as well as the second page. So there's 2 pages to this particular one. Oh, this one's only got 1. Okay. Let me go back to the first page. Okay. So again, if you want to just change what this looks like, you can go between standard and custom. The next thing you can do is, if you don't like this background image, and you've got your own, you can go ahead and select upload image. There's a library in listings to leads, which is going to go to by default. So if you want to grab another image, like I got one for Providence, I'm going to change that image. I'm going to do insert. And now it's going to change that image for me, right? So you can do whatever you want. If you've got a video, you can do that as well. I don't know what the size limitation is, so you'll have to play around with that. Or you can link it to a YouTube video, which is pretty cool, right? Yeah, so if you got like, maybe you're marketing a property or a neighborhood, you've got like a drone video, you can throw it in here, which is pretty cool. So for now, I'm just going to use this image. So I changed the image. I like it. Social media image share. So if you share this on social media, this is a preview of what it's going to look like. So again, oops. I'm going to change it to a different one. Save that.
So that first one's not a social image
Right.
share. That would just go to somebody's email, maybe, or
Yeah.
I would use that one.
Yep. Okay. So then if you want to change any of the style and color, that's where you would come over here. Now, if you want, let's say you don't like that green button, right? You want to change it to a different color. Maybe you want it to be red or orange or whatever the heck color that is.
Mhm.
Or you can just type in the RGB code. So anyway, you can play around with this, you know, the text color, the button colors, all that stuff, and make it your own. If you want to change what the text actually says, you can come in here, right? I've been leaving it by default because I think it looks pretty good the way it's written, but if you want to change it at all, you can go ahead and just change it right in here. And then you can change the content type. So this one doesn't have any real content, but there are other things. This one's really cool, this countdown counter. I wouldn't use it for a home valuation, but if you had like an open house, right? You could put this clock in here
Oh,
and it shows you a countdown. Like if you've got an open house on Saturday and it's Wednesday, it'll say you've got 3 more days, right? Right, kind of cool. So I'm just gonna leave this the way it was. So I would encourage you guys to play with these different options to see what you want to show on your landing page. Some of them are already built out with like the countdown clock and stuff. You'll see what I mean in a few minutes. And the last thing you can do is change the fields for the form itself. So if you want, when the person fills out the form, this is what it's going to ask them. Now, this is for a home property valuation. So they're going to have to enter in their address. I hide the unit number and apartment number because normally, yeah, it's usually not a renter that's filling this out. They're not looking for the home value of the apartment they're renting, right? So I hide that one. And then this right here is pretty cool. So if you check this off, what it'll do is, you know how when you run a Facebook ad and you click on the content, it auto fills in your email and your phone number. Sorry. Same thing here. So if I leave this unchecked, it's going to have a blank form when they click on the ad. So they'll have to put in their email address, their phone number on their own, or sorry, their property address and their name. If you use Facebook, it's autofill it. So I turn it on because I think it's the less people have to enter, the more apt they're to fill it out, right? So I do that. So that's what the first page looks like. Whoops. And then the second page, it's got these fields on there. Ask for their phone number and ask them why are they interested. So, and I'm going to click on this in a minute, so you'll see the options. And then view my report is what the second page says. Okay. So I'm going to save this. And then I'll show you what it looks like right now. So I really didn't do too much to this, right? Basically, I changed the image, but that's about it. So those are all the basic options. There's a whole bunch of advanced options that we'll get into in a minute. Okay. Oh, I kept the counter. All right. So you can see I changed the color of that button. I added the Facebook link, and then I changed the background image. That was it. So if I look at this, we can look at what it looks like to an end user. So some consumer out there clicks on my link, and this is where it'll send them.
Now, should I have a special Facebook just for business?
Mm-hmm.
And do they stop you from getting a second Facebook by virtue of your name or number or something like that? So,
Nope. Nope, nope. All right, so this is what the user would see, right? So once they click their address, let's see, I don't know, wherever this is. So it uses Google Maps. Now, if I hit this, because I'm connected to Facebook, it's going to grab my information. Right, so I filled in my address. Now it's saying your report's ready. What do you, whoops. I need to sell so I can buy. I'm thinking about selling. I'm just curious, right? So they hit that. And then they should get a report with their home value. Now, I'm getting,
where's that report coming from?
it's coming from listings to leads. They're pulling it. So this one's saying they couldn't find their address, but we'll get back to you quickly. So in the meantime, you guys heard my phone buzzing. I just got a text and an email saying I got a new lead, right? So if I pull this up, you guys can't see it on the phone, but you guys on Zoom can't see it, but basically I got whatever was captured in that form for a lead, okay? You guys with me on the Zoom call?
Yep.
That was cool, right? It was almost instant that I got a lead, right? So that's like the basic option. You really don't have to do much of anything. Just create the property valuation landing page. If you don't want to do anything at all, you don't have to. It's already done for you. All right.
Question.
Yeah.
The area, when you talked about the aerial shots of the properties or something like that, can you utilize somebody else's video?
As long as it's not copyright protected.
And how would you know that?
I don't know.
Use it, get arrested.
Yeah. Yeah. Claim ignorance and apologize
That
later.
would be easy for me.
Yeah. I don't know if you guys heard the question, but the question was, if you use an image or a video, is it okay to use somebody else's or not, something that's not yours? And I guess there's probably some copyright protection out there. So I don't know whether you should or shouldn't use someone else's stuff. Okay, one other thing before we go to advanced is on the, oh, someone's got a question, hold on.
Did you read this yet?
Yeah, it was Cliff. So one other thing on the basic is on the top here, you can look at, this is what it would look like on a laptop, a tablet, and a mobile phone. So if you want to make sure that you don't have your text cut off or the images cut off, you can flip between the different versions. So if you're on a phone, this is what it would look like, basically, right? And if you're on a tablet, it would look like this. So it's pretty cool to flip between the versions just to make sure you got everything. All right, any questions on the basics before we go to advanced? Okay. So, oh, another question.
Can you like take that link or something and put it into an email somehow?
I'm sorry?
Can you like take that link and put it
Yeah.
into an email
Yeah.
somehow? Like,
So question is, oh, thanks, Lizette. She said you can use a place called pexels.com, PEXELS.com. Okay. So your question was, Kathy's question was, can you take this landing page as a link and send it out to someone? Absolutely. So if you look under this right here, you've got view, which we just previewed what this looked like. You can copy the link,
oh, okay.
right? So you can copy it and then put it wherever you want. You can share it to Facebook or wherever, and then you can also post it to social media. So it's all right there for you. All right, so let's look at advanced options. So this is where you kind of use multiple tools to reinforce your landing page, right? So under preferences, there's a few things you can do in here. You can put a zip code in if you want to track where your zip code is. You can create tags, right? So I know this is Dean Estates. I'm using this landing page. I'm going after sellers. You can have one or many tags in here. It all depends on how you want to capture these people. You know how we use tags in your CRM? Remember we talked about that before? This is the same concept. And then if you're connected to your CRM, you can have this lead automatically flow into your CRM and have a follow-up plan for them. So for example, if I were to do, I could probably show you another example, but I'll run an ad and I'll have a follow-up plan already created in my CRM. So I just tag that incoming lead and it automatically flows into my CRM and they get a text right away. Like what just happened, I wouldn't have to do anything. Like I would just say, hey, thanks for reaching out, blah, 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 whatever. So you can create all of that workflow right in here, okay? So that's under the preferences. The other thing is on preferences, you can, if you want, show your social media icons. I always turn this on. So when they look at my landing page, it's got Facebook, LinkedIn, blah, 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 all that stuff on there. And also, when you see people viewing your landing page, it'll show up here, right? So as people click, you'll be able to see how many people are actually interacting with your landing page. So that's preferences. And one other thing I want to point out is throughout listings to leads, there's all sorts of help. So if you don't understand something, there's usually this little light bulb thing. So this, if I click on this, it's going to bring me to an article on how to fill this page out. And they're all over the place in here. Okay, so Autoresponder is the next option. So if you want, and again, see how they got the light bulb? So there's all, if you never understand how to do something, just click on one of those links and it'll explain it. So on this one, if you want, let's say you're not using a CRM to do your follow-up or you haven't connected it, you can create your own auto response right here. So you can create an email. So once they click on your landing page and fill it out, an email gets sent to them right away. And you can create that content right here. And because it's a full editor, HTML, you can add your own images, you can do bold, italics, you can change your fonts, all of that stuff right within here, okay? And you can see that it's got these, I don't know what these are called, I guess autofill kind of features. So this will have the first name and your signature already built in there. So it'll say whoever that person was, I fill it out, Joe, and then you build your content around it, and then it'll have your email signature at the bottom, okay? And if you wanted to send them some sort of value report, there's a whole bunch of reports you can send them in here. Maybe you've got a custom report
Sean,
you want
quick question.
Look at all these that are already built for you, right? So because this is a seller, maybe you want to send them, 25 factors that impact your home value. And I'll show you what these reports look like in a little while. So which is pretty cool, right? So you can have a landing page, they click on it, they get their home value, and you can send them a report at the same time without doing anything. I mean, it's all built for you, right? So that's the autoresponder. Auto posting. This is if you wanted to, like I did week 1, right? For this one, if I wanted to post this every 4th week, I could schedule this landing page to get posted to my Facebook page every 4 weeks. And then this is going to keep track of how often I post it, which is pretty cool. So if you do like Dean Estates week 1, 2, 3, 4, you can have a different ad running every single week forever, right? So it'll always look different and it's always out there. So that would be auto posting. Follow-up, which is really cool too. So this is different than the autoresponder. So the autoresponder happens the first time they click on it. They'll get the email. And if you want to send them a report, they'll get the report. This one is they'll send a follow-up. The system will follow up every month with an email with a new valuation report if you want, you know? And again, it's already all built out for you, right? It's already got, this one has all of the content in there already, right? So you literally don't have to do anything. This is already done for you. So if you want to send a follow-up email once a month just from listings to leads on anyone who's filled out that form, this is how you would do it. Automatic. Pixel tracking and chat code. I don't even know if I want to explain this because I don't really understand it. But there's, is anyone using Pixels on Facebook? I'm not going to bother explaining it then because it doesn't really matter. If you're curious about it, it is a way to track. If you really want to track how much money you're spending on Facebook and how many people are interacting with your ads, that's how you would do it. But I'm not to that level. Home value header. Again, this is more report stuff. So if you wanted to add, you can put a header on the top of your landing page with one of these reports. So if you wanted that to be up there all the time, you could do that.
Now, this is the information on the home you're featuring, is that what you're saying, or what is this?
So on the landing page itself, you know, where it had the clock and the form, you can add a header to the top of that too.
And that's one of these header. And where do you get this information?
This is all built into listings to leads.
Okay.
I'm going to show you the reports later, but there's a gazillion of them in there. Embed and short URL. So Kathy's question earlier about can you send a link, you know, in an email and all that stuff? Absolutely. And there's other ways you could do it too. You can have a QR code on your business card. You could, this one generate a short URL. So instead of having that long link, you can share this link instead. I mean, there's, again, these guys thought of everything, you know? You could take that QR code and put it on a postcard or a mailer. Do you know what I mean? Some sort of print advertising. So they scan it and then boom, they bring it to your landing page. Exactly. Right? Very cool. And then again, if you want this QR code, you say, hey, I want it in PNG format, and it's just going to download it for you. Right. So there it is. Right.
PNG, what does that stand? What's that abbreviation for?
Portable network graphic, I think.
What's the proper one to use? You know, those different formats, doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter. I mean, PNG is good for like a web page or an email. PDF is good for print. Those are the two that I usually use. And then print marketing. So if you wanted, again, these guys have thought of everything, right? So when you're doing marketing, you can't just do one thing, right? You can't just email, you can't just create a website, you can't just print, you got to do all of it. So that's why these guys have done all this. So there are already 2 seller ad leads in here. Seller lead ads, I should say. So let's look at this one. So if I hit edit, it's just going to show me what this mailer is going to look like. So it took the image that I had for the background, right? And then it creates this little sticky note kind of thing. And then again, I haven't done anything where I haven't typed a single thing. This is already done. So this is basically saying, you know, here's the homes for sale and sold report for April 2021. And it's got the links to that landing page, right? The same one we just created. So if you wanted to create a postcard out of this or a mailer to your neighborhood, you can just do it right here. You guys good on the Zoom? Any questions? So from here, you can do a couple of things. If you wanted to use a third-party service to send mailers out, you could do that. Or you can just print them off yourself, stuff envelopes and mail them out. It all depends on what you're doing. like, for example, I did, I'm doing Dean Estates. So I pulled, how did I do this? I'm trying to remember how I did this. Oh, I went into either RPR or what's the other one in MLS to get addresses. I forgot. But I took a
Mine?
geographic area and then I pulled all the addresses and homeowner names. And then I'm just constantly pounding those same people over and over and over again. Through email, through targeted Facebook ads, through sending letters to the same 100 or 150 people all the time. So I'll send them this, I'll send them another thing. It just depends on what I'm doing. And I'm trying to see if this will work, you know? So there's two versions depending on which one you want. That was the first version. This is the second version. So it just looks slightly different, right? So depending on what you prefer, you can use either one of the templates. And then again, you don't have to use exactly what they've written. If you feel like changing the language, go for it. This is an editor, so if you don't like something, just change it. Or maybe you want to highlight Dean Estates, make it bold, underline it, italicize it, you know, however you want to, you know, do it. You can change the color, you know, whatever it is you want to do. And again, you don't have to print this. You can email it too. So it all depends on how you want to do it. Okay. Let me close that. All right. I think that was it for advanced options. Just double check.
Is there a, like, in a telephone directory, you look up somebody's name, is there a Facebook directory?
I don't think so.
You know, I'm talking about someplace, everybody in North Kingston.
I've never seen that. Anybody on the phone seen that? Like, is there like a white pages for Facebook?
No.
I can't think of anything. No. What people have had success with though is like if you're going to target like a neighborhood or an area, is join one of those communities. Like if you go into Facebook and type in North Kingstown community, you'll find like groups that are already set up and you can join. And then you can kind of like work backwards from there. Because I think you can look at members and then, so you got to do a little sleuthing to figure it out. And then the last one is e-flyers. So this is kind of it's the same thing in a different format. This one's an email version, right? And again, it's already built for you. So if you've done your marketing profile, everything is already in there for you, which I know you guys have all done. All right. Any questions on this? I know that was a lot of information. And again, because there's a lot of information in this platform, there's tons of stuff in here.
I have a page 1 question.
Yeah.
When you join listings to leads,
Mm-hmm.
what is the charge for leads and what is the charge for joining?
So it's $20 a month. Oh, it's $20 a month for the platform. And then your budget for marketing is whatever your budget is.
Right.
So you can spend $50 a month or $500 a month.
And that's charged to your account as you use it. So you might want to do a blast mailing, it's going to cost X amount of dollars based on.
Yeah.
And where are those rates listed or?
So, all right. Can you guys hear the question on the phone? On Zoom, sorry.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, the question is, what does it cost to be part of the program? And what does it cost, per lead?
Okay.
So the cost per lead is going to vary. So within Facebook, to do a Facebook ad, you need to put your credit card on file with Facebook, and then you choose how much money you want to spend. So if you have an ad, I think the minimum, I think is $5 per day. So if you run an ad for 5 days, I think the minimum is $25. It might be $7, I forgot, whatever it is. And you can go, that's the minimum, you can go as high as you want. And then the cost per lead, you'll calculate that out based on how many leads you get. on your spend. So if you spend $35, you get 35 leads, it's $1 a lead, right? Anything else that you do like print wise, that's however you want to do that and spend that money. Again, that's your budget. So if you want to use a third party to do your print marketing, you can do that and it costs whatever per piece.
So you've been working with this, listing the leads,
Mhm.
and how's it working out? I mean, is it worth having?
It's worth having. So the question is listings to leads working? Is it worth having? So yes, the trick is you have to be consistent with your follow-up, just like everything else. So if I got 35 leads and I didn't do anything with them, was it worth it? Probably not. But if I'm trying to convert them and having conversations, then yeah, absolutely. I haven't got any instant business. Have any of you guys got instant business yet out of listings to leads?
No.
No. Steve, you got business out of a flyer though, right? Yeah, I think that was before listings to leads. But obviously the content's here. So if you wanted to do
Yeah.
print marketing, it's pretty straightforward and pretty easy for you to do. And to be honest with you, I'm not 100% in on this yet. I've only been doing one or two of the things. Like I've done the Facebook stuff. I've done a couple of mailers, so I haven't really gone full in on it yet. So yeah, I think it's worth it for $20 a month plus whatever your marketing budget is. Absolutely, because you're not going to get any cheaper. There's no way.
But the leads become yours exclusively. And it's
Yeah.
not like it's dispersed among other agents, right?
Correct. So the question is, are the leads yours? Yes, they are yours. So in this platform, if you don't connect this to your CRM, any leads you get, like, see, this is the one I filled out earlier today.
Right.
Remember when we were talking? That lead got captured. It's in my system. You can't see it. Rebecca can't see it. It's just mine. And what you do with it, is however you do your follow-up. So if you want to follow up through listings to leads, if you want to move them into your CRM, I mean, that's totally, up to you guys how you do that. All right. Anybody else got questions on this?
I have a question.
Yeah.
Is there, in regards to what your budget is when running the ads, do you notice that there's kind of like a sweet spot, like $100 or $200? Which one's more effective?
So like I was saying earlier, the most effective ads are ones that promote a home, a listing, open house, whatever it is. So for those, I found if I run it for 3 to 4 days and spend about $30 to $40, I usually get, like I said, around $1 a lead, sometimes a little bit under. And again, it depends on the price point too. So like if you're trying to do that for a $900,000 house, you're probably not going to get a lot of leads. But if you're doing it for a $300,000 house, absolutely, you'll get a ton. For branding, I found that longer runs with a little bit more money make sense. So for example, instead of doing 3 or 4 days, I would do a week and I would spend $50 or $60 for a branding or a marketing kind of piece. And again, the quality is better, but the quantity is a lot less.
Gotcha.
Does that make sense, Lizette?
Yep, thank you.
You got it. You got it. Okay. So that is just one type of landing page, right? So I showed you one. If I go back to listings to leads, look how many different landing page types there are, right? They all work the same way, basically. Like you can pick any one of these and do the same. What is this? And do the same steps for it, right? So if I went and picked, let's say, nearby sold homes, this is another good one for attracting sellers. So if I go to nearby sold homes, same thing, I'm going to do Dean Estates again. I'm gonna do week 1. All right, so I'm gonna do a property valuation, and I'm also gonna do a nearby sold home. So totally different landing page, but in the same neighborhood. It's basically the same steps, right? You can use it as is, or you can go ahead and start customizing it. So now I'm going to edit this. So first step is to create the landing page. Second step is to edit it. So this is the same type of landing page, just in a slightly different presentation. So again, same steps, right? If you want to change the background image, change it. If you don't like the way this looks, you want to change that big rectangle to a square, you could do that, right? That looks better, I think. The fonts are kind of washed out, right? So if like maybe I don't want that white there. So let me go look at my colors. Text, buttons, form. Where do I change this? Okay. So again, same steps, right? It's the same thing we just went through. View, copy link, share, post. The advanced options are all the same too. Well, this has a little bit different. So some of the landing pages have different options under the advanced options. So this one's got the autoresponder, but it doesn't have the automated follow-up, remember? The other one, you could send an email once a month. This one doesn't have that option. So they're all kind of similar. So you just got to play around with the different landing page types and figure out what's going to work, for you. Okay. So that's that one. Just going to close this out. So again, like I said, there's just a ton of landing pages in here. So my advice would be just to kind of play around with them based on the titles, like, and what you're trying to do. Clearly, if you're looking for sellers, you can see which ones you would want to go for. Free value increase report, right? Property valuation 2. So there's another version of that property valuation. Maybe you're going after FSBOs and expireds. You can use those 2 types. There's also, for buyers, foreclosures, right? So if you want to attract people that are looking for foreclosures, you can create that one, or short sales. So it all depends on what you're trying, what your marketing objective is, right? That's the type of landing page you would create.
No, I got a question.
Yeah.
I must get 50 at least emails a day,
Mm-hmm.
and most of them I just breeze through because a lot of them are the same thing from you.
Mm-hmm.
Is there a, I don't want to say trick, is there a way of standing out from the other emails?
I wish I knew the answer. So,
I mean, if you start off with FU or something,
Yeah.
that's something to get their attention, but
The subject line.
I look down at my emails and I say, I
Yeah.
don't have the time. And all of them sound attractive, your last chance and
Mhm.
read this and
yeah,
that type of thing. I need to find.
I think so. You guys on Zoom, the question is there a way to create an email that people open it instead of just saying, oh, here's another one, another piece of junk, right? I don't know the answer. I guess subject line is probably the best answer, maybe with some emojis in there. Those seem to be what people are interested in.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, text I think works a lot better than email. Yeah. Okay. So that's So those are landing pages, and that's really one way to attract, different types of sellers, right? So if you want to create a home value or what's your home worth or that sort of landing page, I would encourage you to do that. And then again, create different versions of it and run them, weekly or every other week, whatever you're comfortable with. And then when I say run them, what I mean is you can post it on your social media. You can create an ad around it. There are different ways you can do it, right? Or you can email it out to your sphere, whatever it is. You could just have that. The other thing you can do to attract sellers is if we go into the library within listings to leads, there's a couple of different things in here. So remember those reports I was talking about? Listings to leads has created an entire library of reports. Let's go to media. So all of these PDF guides, right? So you can see, I don't even know how many are in here. And apparently they're coming out with Spanish versions of all of these too. You can take any one of these reports and do whatever you want with it. Like if you wanted to create an email campaign or put it on your Facebook page or whatever you want to do with it. Like let's say this one, for example. I'm just picking a random report. Oh, it is in Spanish already too. So 6 questions to ask before you sell your house. So this is a report that can get emailed to someone. And it's already, I'll just download it. So you can create an ad right from here if you wanted, or you can download it. I'll show you guys what it looks like. So again, there's like 50, 60, 100. I don't even know how many of these reports in there. So you won't run out of things to send. And again, people want something of value. And if you're doing door knocking, you can just walk around with this report. You know what I mean? Or you can email it, or you can send it in the mail, whatever you want to do.
Are the reports available for sale by owner?
I don't know how many are in here, but I'm sure there's something in here. So if I open this report up,
I dropped off a report to a house that was for sale by owner, and encouraging him to get an agent. He got an agent, not me.
So this is the report. Now, again, I didn't type anything and I didn't touch anything, right? So it's already got my stuff in there. It's already branded to me. So obviously it'll be branded to you when you do the same thing. And it's got that same link in there. Like that link is in there all the time. It's in my email signature too. So if anyone ever wants to look at a home value and they're in my email, they just click on it. So all this content is already built out for you. I didn't do anything, right? So again, it's something of value that people want, right? So you can, again, create an ad around this, click here to download your free report kind of thing, and then this gets sent to them. Or you can print it out. You can create your own marketing material around it. It all depends on how you want to do it. So I would encourage you to use this section too. And again, you can pick whatever you want in here. You can create a whole marketing campaign just using these reports. Send one out every month, or maybe past clients of yours, you want to send them something, whatever it is. However, I can't tell you how you're going to do your marketing. That's up to you. But depending on your marketing plan, these are the tools that are available to you, right? So again, I don't know how many are in here. There's just, I don't know. There's got to be 100 in here. I haven't counted, and they keep adding more all the time. So take advantage of this because for $20 a month, this is like insane to have all this right at your fingertips, And this is why Rebecca asked me to teach this, because no one even has probably thought or saw this, right, within this platform. It's all right there, you know? All right, any questions on the phone, on Zoom? No? You guys are good?
Yep.
All right, cool. All right, so who's gonna do some marketing? I would start with a plan. I would sketch out a plan if I were you, just my advice, and then figure out, okay, for the next 3 months, you know, this is what I'm gonna commit to doing, right? I'm gonna do one mailer a week, I'm gonna do one Facebook ad a week, whatever it is, you know, figure out your budget and then kind of work backward from there. So if you say, hey, you know what? I'm gonna spend $300 a month for the next 3 months, and I'm gonna spend 100 of it on Facebook, 100 of it on print advertising, and another 100 on whatever. And then just stick to it and see what happens. You know, I guarantee something. You're gonna get something out of that $900.
Steve, what was your response on that mail you did about 2 months ago?
So because I only did the one round of the mailers, it was a poor response. I did get the one, but as a result of that one mailer, Cliff, I didn't follow up with that, so the response was low.
Yeah. So that's exactly it, Steve. The money is in the follow-up. Absolutely.
Yep.
Because if you don't, again, like, and I'm guilty of it too. Like if I'll spend $30 on a Facebook ad and I get 30 leads and I don't follow up with them, then I just wasted $35.
Yeah,
It's
well,
my fault that I didn't convert them, you know?
you know, it's also due to attention span, you know, so I did the mailer, but then I got busy. And so
Exactly.
again, the follow-up got neglected, and I
Yep.
ended up working in the business and not on my business. So just
Also
listening
very
to
clear.
leads is incredible, Sean. There's so much here to offer. You almost have to just pick one thing you're going to try to target. Otherwise, you're going to end up a mile wide and an inch deep. And so
Exactly.
you're right. You have to focus on what you're going to do for the next, have a plan for the next few months,
Mhm.
dabble in each area and learn it. So,
Yeah. And I would say if you could spend an hour a day just on your marketing and another hour a day just on your follow-up, just the 2 hours, I think would make a huge difference.
Yeah.
Or even if you combine the two in a 1 hour, half an hour on marketing, half an hour on follow-up. I think consistency is the key, and I'm very guilty of being inconsistent myself. But I found that the people that are successful in this business are consistent. Yeah.
and honest with themselves, Sean. We have to be honest and know where we're lacking and where we need to boost ourselves up. So these classes are invaluable. Thank you, and Rebecca and the team for providing the teaching here. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. I enjoy it. Yeah, so that would be my advice is create your marketing plan for the next 3 months and be consistent with it, you know. Don't give up and don't get too busy, like Steve said, where you're working in your business setup on it. And then, yeah, exactly. Yep. All right, cool. Hold on, there's a couple of questions. All right, awesome. All right, cool. So if you guys are good, I'll wrap this up. I did record this, so I'll post it on my YouTube channel. I'm behind on that, by the way. I've got a few classes I got to catch up on. And then so next week we're going to jump into, I believe it's either listings or buyers. I forget which one, but again, it's going to be a deep dive into one specific thing. That way you can take away whatever you take away for that particular area. Okay. Awesome. All right. Thank you guys so much for attending. I appreciate it. And have an awesome day.
You as well.
Thank you.
All right,
Take care,
bye.
everybody.
Are you available for private lessons?
I know.
Yeah. So